What's going on YouTube? Today we got how good was Vince Carter actually. Without further introduction, man, let's get into it. The last reaction will be at the end of the video.
Vince Carter.
I was difficult to start it. I'm bugging. I'm bugging when I said after introduction.
The most popular
Without further
figure in
introduction,
basketball. And even today, he's still pretty well known, even though he hasn't been mainstream for a long time. Everyone who watched him live during his prime knew how amazing he was as a player and as an entertainer on the court. When he first came into the league, he was deemed the next Michael Jordan, although, to be honest, a lot of other players were too at the time, because the NBA wanted to hype the fans up and find the next MJ. So, how good was Vince Carter actually? Was he ever considered to be better than his counterparts like Kobe or T-Mac or AI?
Man.
Well, let me tell you, when it comes to popularity, he was definitely right up there with them. So, Carter was originally drafted by the Golden State Warriors in 1998, but he was immediately traded on draft day to the Toronto Raptors, which at that time were a relatively new expansion team. The Raptors only joined the NBA a few years prior in 1995, but they struggled the first few seasons. However, Vinsanity instantly put Toronto on the map, and they became must-watch television. And of course, along with his cousin too, T-Mac. According to Forbes, the value of the Raptors franchise doubled during Carter's time there, and that's not really a surprise either. The Raptors were also #1 in the league in attendance for the 2000, 2001, and 2002 season, which is crazy, especially for a new team. During Carter's 6.5 seasons in Toronto, he averaged 24 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists per game on 45% shooting and 39% from 3. He also won some other awards like Rookie of the Year, the Slam Dunk Contest. He was one of the best shooting guards / small forwards in the league. He spent a lot of time at both positions. He was just a great all-around player, and his ability to shoot threes at a great percentage and on a high volume was something that stood him out from his peers. Carter was an amazing three-point shooter for his time, and even as he got older too, his stroke was always still there, which definitely helped him stay in the league. And of course, back in Toronto, he was known for his insane dunks, which got him the nickname Air Canada. He's arguably the best dunker in NBA history. Even Kobe has said before that Vince Carter is the greatest dunker ever.
In the prime of all those players' careers, who wins a dunk contest?
Vince.
What?
Yeah, I would say Vince.
Yeah, Vince was pretty.
Carter showcased a variety of dunks in the 2000 Slam Dunk Contest, which was one of the most
I think this is the dunk contest I seen.
This was the event that catapulted Carter's career into superstardom.
Nah, yeah, because I seen this. I think this one he did though.
There's a reason why the Raptors
was that him that did that? Yeah.
Following the dunk contest. Everyone wanted to watch Carter play, and he had an entire country supporting him too. In the 2001 playoffs, which turned out to be his best playoff run with the Raptors, Carter averaged some crazy numbers, and he led them to the second round, where they eventually lost to the Sixers in Game 7. He had a chance to win the game and the series at the buzzer, but he missed, and he stated that this shot has haunted him for a long time.
Watch the quick pass to Curry after he inbounds. Curry has it. Carter trying to get free. Carter at the buzzer. No good. Sixers hold on and advance to
Almost so.
Unfortunately, after this amazing season, he suffered a couple of injuries in the following years, missed a lot of games, all of the team's injuries, along with Carter's unhappiness because he felt like the front office wasn't really trying that hard to get him a better supporting cast. All of this led to a lot of tension between him and the team. He wanted to be contending for a title, but his teammates weren't exactly the cream of the crop. As a result, Carter demanded a trade in the beginning of the 2004-05 season because he believed that the Raptors front office continued to mislead him and that the team would never be able to legitimately contend for a title under their management. He only played 20 games in the season before he got traded to the Nets, and afterwards he got booed every time he played in Toronto. And the boos continued for about 10 years or so before it settled down. That's a pretty damn long time, but it also shows how much Carter meant to the fans, to the organization. The fact that he didn't want to be there anymore really hurt them a lot because he was the Raptors' first ever superstar. He helped increase basketball's popularity in Canada a lot. And honestly, after this whole debacle, pretty much everyone in Canada hated him for a long time. Anyway, so he got traded to the Nets, and around this time, Carter was seen as a great individual player. But the thing is, those Nets teams underachieved a lot when he was there. Keep in mind, the Nets reached the finals in 2002 and 2003, and although the East was weaker back then, they were still seen as one of the best teams in the conference. When they acquired Carter in 2004 and didn't really give that much to get him, they were projected to be the favorites or secondary favorites to return back to the finals. A team that made the finals already, and now they added a superstar like Carter who can get you 25 points a night easily. On paper, they were supposed to be amazing, but it just didn't work out that well. With Carter on the team, along with Jason Kidd and Richard Jefferson, the Nets didn't really live up to expectations. They had some injuries during the regular season, and in the playoffs they kept losing in the first or second round. Now, coincidentally, the East did get a lot stronger around this time too, especially with LeBron and D-Wade improving and Shaq going to the Heat. It was kinda unfortunate that the Nets built a great team, but at the wrong time. Well, I guess great team isn't the right phrase to use. They were just a team that had some great players, but their bench was pretty bad. Offensively, they struggled because even though Carter was a good scorer, he took a lot of shots and wasn't very efficient at times. During Carter's time there, the Nets finished near the bottom of the league in offensive rating multiple times, and they never even had a league average offense. In addition to Carter's teams underachieving, the perception of him around the league changed as well. He was still doing flashy dunks now and then, still hitting crazy shots, but his popularity slowly declined. Part of it had to do with how he handled his situation with the Raptors. His relationship with the coaches and management was kinda bad, and the other part of it was that his type of playstyle didn't really lead to winning basketball games. And defensively, he was known to frequently take plays off and just mail it in on that end of the floor. Carter had the athleticism and length to be a great defender, but he never took defense seriously until later on in his career, where he tried to rebuild his image. That's why he's never made a single all-defensive team in his entire career. And actually, he's only had 2 All-NBA selections anyway. That was in 2000 and 2001, where he made the 3rd team and 2nd team. And after that, he didn't make any more, even though he averaged over 20 points a game for like a decade. He did have some tough competition though, especially at his position, so I don't think it's unreasonable that he got left out. Carter's last few seasons with the Nets were pretty much the last time he played at an all-star level. He got traded to Orlando before the 2009-10 season, played alongside Dwight Howard, and averaged about 17 points a game. But he was 33 years old by now, and obviously wasn't the same player as before. However, the 2010 playoffs was actually the first time he made it past the second round, but then the Magic lost to the Celtics in the conference finals. In the following seasons, Carter bounced around the league a few times, hit a game winner against the Spurs in the playoffs, and is now spending the twilight years as a mentor and a leader for a rebuilding team in Sacramento. That's another thing I wanted to mention too. Carter changed a lot through the years. He started from a rising young superstar to one of the most popular players on the planet in the early 2000s, to a disgruntled star, to a role player, to a great leader who many young players look up to today. Although Carter had a ton of memorable moments throughout his career, my personal favorite happened in 2014, when he was way past his prime. It wasn't even a dunk or a highlight play or anything. The Raptors were doing a 20th anniversary celebration, and coincidentally enough, Carter was in town, as a member of the Memphis Grizzlies. The Raptors made a video tribute for him, and the entire crowd started cheering. This was the first time in 10 years that Toronto cheered him on, and it was just a very touching moment. I thought it was really cool, and it summed up Carter's journey in the NBA really well. So, how good was Vince Carter actually? He was a great player, a great scorer, didn't really give 100% effort on defense during his prime, but he did as he got older. In his prime, if I wanted to build a team around a wing player, I'd still take Kobe and T-Mac over him, as I think those two were just a bit better. But Carter was still close to them and definitely just as talented. If you put prime Vince Carter in the league today, he'd probably be a top 10 player. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed that video. If you did, you can check out my other...
And that's the end of this one, y'all. If you guys enjoyed this reaction, let me know how good you guys think Vince Carter was. We gonna check him out, man. We got to check out some highlights, some dunk highlights, all that, man. Make sure you click on the last reaction. Turn on post notifications. Links in the description, man. And I'm out of here.